year. How much do you think it could be, worlds better than last year? And what are your expectations for this offense?
Yeah, definitely. We definitely can improve from last year. Just learning and building upon what we did. What we did last year, and what we're emphasizing is we can only beat ourselves. And just we already know, like, no matter what the defense is in, we know our job, we know our responsibility. And Coach Ab talks about doing our 111th. If we just focus on the pre-snap and do our 111th, we can't be stopped. I believe we can be the best in the country.
Where do you think you're better this year, as far as like when you look at whatever skills it takes to be a quarterback, from throwing, running? If you're going to pick 2 or 3 things, where do you think you're most improved?
I feel like one I'm going to improve on is just my footwork and not really relying on just my athleticism, but just really just being consistent on that. And I would say just knowing my players and knowing my O-line, knowing my tight ends, and knowing my receivers better, because just stepping in last year, it was like, I was like, okay, let's get it. So just having a full off season, having a full summer, just really diving in the film, even if it's in practice or even if it's getting something to eat, we're all doing it together. And I feel like that's what it's been here. It's just the culture here, just being part of the brotherhood that we talk about.
Taylen, last year this time, I know you're competing and stuff like that, but when you're the number 2 quarterback, are there like kind of like unspoken limitations on how vocal you can be or things you do? And if so, how does that differ this year? Because it certainly seems like you're more aggressive in how you lead in practice right now.
I feel like if you're like the number 2, you're more just taking a lot of stuff in, just learning and just growing from that. And I feel like just you can lead that team, we call it the Orange Group, and just lead them and just guide them, because, especially being in the Orange, like, especially quarterback, you have to over-communicate, we talk about, and just make sure everybody's on the same page, So just that's what I feel like is the difference, rather than like, we call it the blue, it's just doing the little things, off the field, communicating. What did like, we talk like O-line, what did they see? What did I see? What did my receivers see? And just always trying to be try to be on the same page in one unit,
Prince is a receiver who seems like he's made an impact already on the field. I mean, what have you seen out of him? What do you see as his strengths?
Yeah, he's gonna be special. He's gonna be something special. He's definitely one of the hardest workers I've seen. He always stays late, always in the film room, always running routes. Sometimes not even no QB. He's just running routes, just on air, just imagining stuff, and he's just always asking questions. And I'm always telling him like I've been in your shoes. I know this. We have install after install after install, and just take everything little by little. And so yeah, he's definitely takes tremendous strides. I'm excited for what he has.
Is he more of a deep ball guy that's going to take the top off the defense? Is he more shifty? I mean, what does he do really well?
He definitely can do. I feel like he can do his potential. He can do everything. Definitely with his size and with his athleticism, he's definitely a deep ball threat. But I feel like here, with this offense, I feel like all our guys can do everything. Static, he can go deep. He can do quick intermediate, short routes, trails. Same thing with Emac. Last year, Emac was a deep threat, but we're still building him to do all around stuff. So I feel like that's what's special about this offense. We have our guys do all around everything, because if we have Prince out there on Saturdays, they're like, oh, we know he's going to go deep, rather than if he keeps doing everything, the corners don't know, safeties doesn't know. So I feel like that's really good.
With you and Bush, what's kind of been the emphasis for you? What areas are you personally really trying to, you spent this last month trying to improve on?
Definitely the communication piece. He said like in the start of spring, I was way too quiet in that, and just being more vocal, and just letting the bass drop in my voice, and just letting everybody hear me, and just we call it winning the pre-snap, taking everything little by little, whether it's the front, whether it's knowing the defenses, knowing what are my alerts, and just knowing the little things that go apart play by play.
Has that been something for you that maybe in your career has been? Are you more of a quieter guy in terms of being a leader on the field? And Jay was talking about, when you're the backup, maybe it's not your spot to say anything. And last year in the middle of the season, you're thrown into the fire. But now that it's your team, I guess, is that something you are having to work on?
Yeah, definitely, just being the quarterback, just gotta step into that role. I'm not really, I wouldn't say I'm a quiet guy, but I'm not like really, like always. You're not gonna hear me like, hey, you're not gonna hear me like that. So just really stepping in and just finding my voice and finding how my teammates respond to encouragement, respond to just like me getting onto them and just finding that out. And that's what I'm excited about. I have a whole season to figure that out with me and my teammates, and they know how to encourage me because we call it's a two-way street. Ashton like encourages me and I encourage him. And it's a two-way street. Like I said, and it goes for the offense, it goes for the defense. Like Rod, he always be talking trash, and so it's always just going back and forth. So that's what I'm excied about.
He told us about him picking you off, by the way. Sorry, Rod got you. Told us the other day.
See, Rod. It's all love. It's all love.
Coach Cutter talked last year like, hey, if he got you right away, he might have tweaked some of your throwing mechanics a little bit or something like that. With Bush in here, I mean, has your throwing mechanics or anything like that changed at all?
I would say not really my throwing motion, but more of my footwork. Just building a base. We always do pre-practice. We call it. We always do like weight distribution. Just trying to my back foot to my front foot always consistent, so I can just be more consistent throwing the ball and throwing deep passes. Trying to make my deep passes, intermediate passes, and short passes all look the same. And it starts from my base, and so that's what we started.
There's nothing with like arm slots or anything. It's starting at the feet, and that hopefully should just get it more consistent. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
All the coaches and stuff will talk about, hey, if Taylen can get to the next level, I mean, watch out. For you, in your mind, what is the next level for you?
I feel like the next level is just, like I always say, just take everything play by play and doing everything in my power, doing my best each play, not taking one play off, being intentional in every single throw that I make. And that's what Bush is, another thing of Bush is really onto me, is making every throw intentional. Just don't throw a go route just to throw a go route. Don't throw it as deep as you can. Actually, maybe it's back shoulder, maybe it's doing this, maybe it's leading. So it's just each route is just knowing, having intention into that. And so just watching the film and seeing how the DB plays, seeing how the safety plays, and seeing how I can make the throw and how I can make it easier on my receivers.
Along those kind of like that mental side of this, so like when you running with the ones now, as opposed to like last year, when maybe you get an opportunity, you felt like you maybe had to prove yourself. Like, how does that kind of differ now? Like, I mean, are you able to slow the game down? Are you more confident? Like, how does that mindset differ from this time last year when you got to be the guy for however long you would get to be the guy?
Yeah, definitely. I'll say my confidence is definitely higher. Not trying to leave the pocket really soon. See somebody in my face, just trying to stay in the pocket, trust my O-line, trust my running backs, trust my tight ends in that. And so when they're doing their job, I'm doing my job, and just trying to get it to my playmakers, because they're gonna get the touchdowns, they're gonna get all that. So it's all a team thing. So
How are you liking working with Bush?
I love it. He really brings the best out of me, whether it's on the field, off the field. And I know that he's really intense, really detailed in what he does. And what I really like, I can talk to him about life. I can talk to him about how school going. I can talk to him about just real, not personal, but real life stuff. He cares about me as a player and as a person. And that's really what I like about him.
The word explosive has been used a lot this spring from the coaches and the players. When it's happening on the field in practice, what does it look like? What do you see? What does that mean?
I would say it just comes natural. That's what I've really took about this spring. Our explosive plays come natural because we have natural explosive players. Whether it's we have every tight ends, receivers, all that. Not really trying to force it, just takes what the defense gives us. And if they give us explosive plays, then that's when we take it. So just knowing when and where to do it.
You mentioned hanging in the pocket, not necessarily just taking off running right away. But I think the phrase Bush used was use it, not abuse it when it comes to your running. How do you see how much you want to run and take advantage of that skill, but also you're a quarterback to be a passer too and not try to get hurt and things like that?
Yeah, I feel like I definitely agree with him on that, especially if I want to take my game to the next level. Everybody especially in the league, you know, it's everybody runs 4-4, 4-5, you know, just not trying to rely on that. Only when I have to, when a play breaks down, then use my running ability. Or if the DN crashes, then pull it and run, and then I can use it. Not really just if I don't have to do it, like just staying in the pocket, trusting my line, and just giving the ball to my playmakers.
Are you working on little things like, you know, stepping up in the pocket, like 2 or 3 steps up as opposed to going right or left? Are little things like that something you're working on this spring?
Yeah, definitely just getting a feel for it, you know. Matter if it's stepping up the pocket, stepping right, stepping left, you know. I know Bush talks about don't be too greedy. Like, just take what you need, rather if it's just one step, rather if it's just one step up, one step back, one step to the right, just taking what you need. Don't take like 2 or 3 when I don't have to, you know, because that causes me to be late on my throw. And if I'm late, the defense is definitely could pick, definitely bad things happen when I'm late. So that's what I definitely learned from it, and just doing what I have to do in the pocket, just making real subtle movements in the pocket.
Who's your